Markets are crashing. Now they are pumping. Are we in for a bit of a trap? I don't know, but we got to look at it because we've been nailing these calls when the price was up at $107,000, $108,000. We outlined that $100,000 target, and if it lost that 101,000 that we were going down to 97, and then most likely tapping into that 96K range. It didn't seem possible, but here we are with the price washing so many people out and now having a rebound. The question is, will this rebound hold? It is a holiday season. It's December 20th. Big love to each and every one of you. Shout out to Tater driving up to New Hampshire right now. Shout out to the Gray family. Shout out to Alexander G. Shout out to Andy D. All you folks that are here early. I love you. I appreciate you. We're going to have a lot of people rolling here in just a few minutes, but let's go ahead and get this retweeted. Let's show some love. If we get 10 super chats today, we will draw from today's retweets. So let's get some love in there. If you have any questions or specific coins you want to look at, we also got Crypto Billy coming on. So with that being said, let's get the music playing. Let's vibe. Let's make sure we are feeling good because the market's still doing quite well. So let's roll.
Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump, altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish out there. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards. When it comes to gas, our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. We are hearing from clients around the world.
Bitcoin, pumping, altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this.
And I believe crypto will play that type of role as
Bitcoin, pumping, altcoin, pumping.
We are hearing from clients around the world.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto
Are
will play
you
that type
ready?
of
We're
role
going to
as
be
a-
diving
Can't
in
nobody tell
here
me
in
nothing.
a moment of
Bitcoin,
you feeling
pump.
good.
We are hearing from
Because
clients
these
around the
markets are
world.
creating the opportunities. So many of us are like, if it was lower, I'd buy. Well, did you buy? Did you sit on your hands? Did you capitulate? Everybody get active. Remember, it's 10 super chats today, and we'll do a giveaway from those that retweet. Let's go and head and dive into these charts. Let's go. Absolute carnage in the charts overnight. But we have been absolutely nailing these calls. For those of you that have been tuned in, you've been seeing it. Hopefully you've been trading it. Hopefully you're just informed and not getting just so worried because the price action is doing exactly what we were expecting it to do. When the price action was up in this region right about here, we talked about, hey man, we need to watch this zone because this is starting to look weak. And then as we play this out, we see that kind of came down. Oh, it's not going to do it. Head and shoulders. No, it is going to do it. And then we said, if we lose this area, we talked about the price action, then tapping this and then ultimately coming down into this level. And what did we see? We saw the price action do exactly that. And now we get this very, 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 very strong V-shaped recovery. The question's going to be right now. So many people see this and they think it's just up from here. There's strong potential that this comes into the zone, traps some bulls, and then actually continues further down. But there's also that possibility of this actually just being the washout to the downside, finding some base here, finding some stability, and then pushing back up to the upside. Shout out to everybody's here. Shout out to Green Day Profits, gifting 5 memberships. Big love to you. Also, $5 super chat from Tater. Merry Christmas, brother. We send big love your way. Thank you for all you do. Have a happy new year and do a snow dancer do a snow dancer. I'll do a snow dancer. Well, big love to everybody here. I appreciate y'all. Remember, if we do 10 super chats today, we will do a giveaway from those that retweet the show. Shout out to you driving up to New Hampshire as well, Tater. Hope you drive safe and do well on that trip and don't have any issues with the snow. If this is your first time here, I can guarantee it's not going to be your last time because we've been dropping those calls for you technicals, charts, tools, community. That's what this is about. Shout out to all our channel partners here. CoinW with that free traders group. If you sign up through CoinW, the link is down below in the description. If you're watching over on Twitter, the links are right there in the first comments. And shout out to everybody tuning in on a daily basis. But we got to talk about some things today. What are they? Well, we got Bitcoin. Oh my God, it's at $1.9 trillion. We got Ethereum at right around a little over 400 billion, XRP 128 billion, BNB 96, 92. The market is just doing what the market does. We're at $3.34 trillion and people are having a conniption fit, forgetting that this market regularly has moves. And when you look at this previous cycle back in 2017, when you look at what we saw here in 2020, but specifically 2017, there was 11 moves of 15% or more to the downside. There was, I think, 8 moves of 25 or 30% or more to the downside on the way up. And what we're looking at right now is we see the price action from right here at the top. Let's go ahead and measure that. Oh my God, we had a 15%, just under 15% move to the downside, and people are losing their minds. The bull market is over. What are you looking at? You're clearly not looking at the chart because, you know, we've had this very, very, very strong movement all the way since back here in January 2023. A little bit of sideways action, consolidation, move to the upside, sell off here on the ETF news, a push up. Oh my God, how is it this high and at previous all-time highs? Necessary consolidation made a lot of sense now, especially looking back. We talked about it on this date of the halving. We talked about 150 to 180 days before the move up. And when we look at this, let's measure this right here to where we actually, that's not what I want to do. Let me click on that. There we go. When we measure this to, let's do it to when we broke out of this range, 184 days. When we broke out of this range, and that's when we truly started this move. If you want to measure it to this bottom right here, 140 days. So what did we say? We outlined this on this date that this was going to happen. This is the time frame to look at, and this is exactly what played out. There's another chart. Excuse me. There's another chart I have here somewhere. So many different, right here. We outlined this box when the price was over here about when price was going to resolve to the upside. And look at this, boom, moved to the upside. And now when we're looking at the price action, zoomed in at where we're at today, and we look at this, let's get down to the 4 hour. We outline this. If this does roll over back here and cannot hold this level, we will be looking at price action coming down to about $85,000 and potentially below. And in fact, you know what this was called from years and years ago. We come over here, we look at CZ. When is this? December 2020, 4 years ago. Waiting for the new headline, Bitcoin crashes from 101,000 to $85,000. It'll be interesting if we actually hit that because it's actually in the chart as a known level. And that is this boom right here. Option J gives you the horizontal ray. This is that level low right here. If we do come down to here, this would be pretty scary for alts because you're going to see a lot of blood if that happens. If we do lose that, then we'll ultimately still be very bullish. And that's just price action coming down in to potentially fill this CME futures gap, as well as come down and test not only the 382 at 85, right? But also this golden pocket, which is exactly where the CME futures gap. The reason I outlined this, and I'm actually more bullish than this. My screen disappeared. There you go. I'm actually more bullish than it going down there. But I want us all to be aware that if that does happen, it is structure in the chart that shows that it's possible, and it's nothing to lose your mind over. It's something to take advantage of that dip buying opportunity if it does happen. I'm kind of leaning on the fence of this being a bit of the washout, but what have we talked about so much? Meaning this being the washout, trapping people, and then doing the work, and then releasing to the upside. The problem I have, and I have to be aware of it, is that we have a higher low, higher low, higher low. Now, higher low. Now, what do we got here? Boom. This is lower low. And so many times in this market have we seen a lower low followed by a lower high, which signals a further dip, further crash down. So if that does play out, and I'm not saying it's going to, but we've got to look at the forest for the trees. So with this potential setup being there, let's just be aware of it. But let's look at what the data says. Who gives two flying about the price. What is the structure in the chart? I don't care if this price seems high or low, or this. Look at the structure where previous range lows are, where previous range highs are, all this data. Now, what does it say? And again, we got a great show lined up today. We got some TA, we got some charts, we got some data. We got Crypto Billy coming on also at about noon, maybe just after noon. But when we were looking at this and we realized also Tom Lee has been making some of the best calls in the markets for about the past 6 years or so. And he says, back up the truck. After Wednesday's panic selling, let's go. Of course, we've had a little bit more of a dip since then, but back up the truck. Let's see how this plays out. Shout out. We're getting super chats in here like it's Christmas. Where's viewer activity? Why is it not showing? It's not showing, but I can scroll back. I can look right here, actually. Super chats. We got Nicole Tater. I already called that one out. Thank you again. Falco super chat. Riding these waves all the way to Valhalla. Absolutely. And the Gray family. Love the BitLab Academy. Thank you for the content. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you being here in the community. Now, is this going to be the case? Because we have looming things that are putting this risk-off narrative in the broader markets. It's not just Bitcoin. If you think, why is Bitcoin crashing? It failed. Well, then understand that the S&P 500 also had a bit of a sell-off. And if you look at this blue line, this actually has a bit of a support zone right here where the bounce. If this falls a bit further or pushes up and has a lower high and then starts to move down, that could also signal some further bleeding in likely that could be coming to Bitcoin if we have that risk off narrative that really, sort of bleeds into markets as a whole. As it stands, we're still in the bullish structure on S&P 500. We're still in a bullish structure on Bitcoin. So let's not lose our minds. And when we look at that and we understand, where did it go? When we look at that, back up the truck. Cool. What was the next thing? Take advantage of Bitcoin under $100,000. Alts dipped. Great. Take advantage before they run away. Ride the dragon to greatness. Do so at your own risk or don't. Meaning don't take advantage of this, capitulate, sell everything at your own exponential risk because of what is coming. So even if all you can do right now, and many of us, maybe you're tapped out, maybe you don't have any more dry powder, throw one in chat if that's you. That's me right now. I am tapped out. I'm so aggressive in this market. And so does that mean I just give up? No. But sometimes just sitting on your hands is all you can do, okay? And that's okay. Now, when you look at what's going on here, we've called this perfectly in the BitLab Discord, and I've also shared it here on the stream. I outlined the first orange box, which is the one I just highlighted there, the 100K region. If we lost that, we go to 96 and then to 92. In fact, if we come over here, we go to Discord. This is the BitLab Discord. By the way, we're under $100,000. Under $100,000 means that BitLab deal is back live. lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. You can see it there blinking on the bottom of the screen. That is the link. Put /deal. Make sure you put lab.bitlabacademy.com//deal and you get 15 days free and then like 35% off for the life of your account, even when this deal expires. Now, looking here, I've been sharing this back here on the 18th. I even shared before this happened when price was higher up in this zone is when we drew this box. But then I shared it in here and we talked about the price, potentially losing this, potentially, look at this. What did I say? Blah, 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 blah. If I had to guess, test down to the 96 level. If we breach from there, we're going to 92. And then what did we get? We came down to this level. And then where are we overnight? Price action came, look at this, boom, all the way down to 92.3. So we have been calling this. We've been sharing it. We've been keeping you in the know. So shout out if you guys have been paying attention. Now, continuing on, we also see still bullish news. $1 trillion. French bank, BPCE, to launch Bitcoin and crypto investment services. 35 million users. That doesn't mean they're all going to immediately go buy Bitcoin, but these bulletins do get pushed out to all of their clientele, as well as making news headlines. The access points are still increasing. So things are still bullish even with the dip. Now realize this, history will be made today as the NASDAQ is down basically down 6% from its highs in just 5 days. There are a massive amount of options expiring today. So we don't need to go in this whole thread, but there's 6 $1.6 trillion in options on the NASDAQ that are expiring today, coming in, basically to close out this year. So let's see if there's a little bit of pressure on the market that is released. Now, we want to talk about Bitcoin. We want to talk about altcoins, but we need to also understand what the driving factors are going to be in the risk narrative of markets in general. And this can be a pretty big factor. Now, continuing on, Bitcoin spot ETFs saw the biggest outflow ever. Well, how did it compare? Let's look at it. We saw BlackRock at 0, but look at this, minus 900, minus 2100, minus 11. But look at these days preceding. Plus 4,000, plus 7,000, plus 3,500. And we're getting, yes, a big sell-off, but I do think that this is an opportunity. There's a lot of people in the Bitcoin spot ETFs that this is their first dip. If you have a 15% dip in a traditional market asset, that's like you are in a recession, the market's crashing. In Bitcoin, this is luxurious. And traditional market participants are just now getting a taste of the volatility where they're excited for the upside and they lose their minds with anything more than a 3 or 4%, 5%, 8% dip to the downside. In their minds, that goes into protectionary mode. Let's get out of the market. And so I do think that this is going to recover fairly quickly, but let's keep our eye on it because this is going to be a changing narrative over time. Now, smart players are taking advantage of opportunities in the bull run. That's what smart players do. Big money, whales. They take advantage of opportunities in a bull trend. If you are running from this regularly expected retrace within a strong bullish trend, which is what's happening right now, we've been talking about the need for a pullback, and we're finally getting it. If you're running from that, then you're running from your future profits, okay? The bull is not over, act accordingly. And we can see this. Whales bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin during the recent bull dip. Boom. So we're getting what we want to see. Smart money still buying. They're not offloading. In the 2013 cycle, it took 6 weeks of upside into price discovery from Bitcoin experience till Bitcoin experienced its first major correction in week 7. In 2017, it took 7 weeks. In week 8, this was, dip here. We had a minus 34% dip here. 2020 rallied 6 weeks into price discovery before Bitcoin's first meaningful pullback of 16%. It's the week 7 right now. So we're literally kind of on that same exact pace that we've been talking about. In fact, if you come over here and you go to cycle bottom right here, and you look at where we're at, the pink, where's cycle bottom? I always lose it. If you look at where we're at right now, you can load. There we go. If you look at where we're at right now, this pink line, we are literally in almost the exact median, the middle point of where we would be if you measure from the last 2 cycles and this cycle. What was the low price? Measure days from there and look how price basically interacted with the market. And this is literally going 100% to plan at the exact median point that you would have seen in the last 2 cycles leading, the 2021 cycle and the 2017 cycle. And then where are we at? Right in the middle, hitting all-time highs. See these black dots? That's when you're hitting all-time highs. Look, right on pace when we did it in the previous cycle. And look at that correction. Look at that correction. We have not had one yet. So even if we get that move to 77K, we would be exactly on par for what you could expect based on previous cycles. Shout out multi-sig dummy. How you doing? Quarter crawler. We got so many folks in here. Crypto Billy. We're going to be having you up here in just a few minutes. Just got to get through a couple more things and we'll get right into that. Now, continuing on, what do we see? Bitcoin, all of the liquidity is on the upside, meaning all these people shorting. We flushed out a lot of this liquidity and coming back up, but what does it look like right now? Let's go ahead and refresh this. And okay, on the 12-hour, we got some nodes in both directions, but what does it look like on the 3-day chart? What does it look like on the 1-week chart? Now, looking at this, look at all this liquidity that we flushed out. All down here, flush it out, flush it out, flush it out. We have some nodes up in this zone, but what does it look? Let's look at the monthly, get a clearer view. I mean, we just flushed. I mean, this is such a healthier market than we've seen. Now, what we're doing right here, we still have this opportunity. As great as this bounce has been, remember, don't look at the bounce and say it's only up from here, because a lot can happen. We very well, let's actually get back to the Bitcoin chart. We very well, that's not the one I want. We very well could see the price action even come up in here and find rejection and come down here and wreck, or come up here, find rejection, double bottom, or just push up here and launch. We have to let this play out, because there's a government thing at play with what's going on with potential government shutdown. There's stuff going on with the administration coming to a close, and all the way between now and the inauguration day. There's a lot of hinky business that could go on, that regardless of what happens here, remember to come over to the chart, look at what this looks like. Where's having progress? Look at where we're at, and understand that dips are going to be a healthy factor of building the stairway to heaven. So regardless of the dips, don't trip. Sometimes you got to buy the dip, and sometimes it dips further. But if you have a timeline in mind with what you're doing, it doesn't hurt as bad. Now, we haven't been this oversold since 59K. It's a bull market. You know what to do. Now, the question is going to be for yourself, if you do buy here, if it dips further, do you panic sell at a lower price? Not for me. This is not financial advice. Not for me, because I see where we're at in the market cycle and how many days are left, how many months are likely left into next year. So if I buy it dips further, I figure out where I need to shake my leg on the corner to scrounge up some more capital so I can buy a couple more of these bad boy little bitties. Okay. Now, continuing on, looking at altcoins. The last time the total market cap was as oversold, which is RSI being very low, as it is right now, was in August of 2024. That's when we had that Japanese yen carry trade washout. You know what happened in the months that followed. Look at how deep we are. Let's go ahead and take my face off just for a second. I turned my camera off, and then I couldn't find where it was. But you saw that in that zone, in this zone, at this level, look at we consolidated sideways, but then we ultimately worked our way up. We are super deep right now. So even if it's not a full reversal to the upside, I do think we're going to probably have a little bit more of a bounce at minimum, but let's push this sucker up, guys. That's what we all want. Let's talk about it. Now, I called this talking with, what's his name? Drew. When I was on Blockchain Basement I think earlier this week, maybe last week, when, oh my God, the IMF and El Salvador is capitulating, they're giving into their things. Well, here's the deal. I said, they're probably going to take that $3.5 billion or whatever it was. It's probably going to free up some of their other capital, and they're going to buy more Bitcoin. Well, look at this. They just 10x'd what they do. They typically buy 1 Bitcoin a day. They did 10 Bitcoin in one day. They basically 10x their buy. How would they do that unless they freed up some of that capital? So they are playing 4D chess with the IMF, still trying to play with a handwritten napkin checkers over here. And then the last thing I want to show before we bust into one of our favorite people here in the crypto space, Mr. Crypto Billy, is Ondo. I'm sure you've seen this news, but they have a summit happening in February, which I do think is going to very likely announce some pretty big integrations, where not just being US Treasuries, likely doing RWA tokenization of different parts of the stock market and assets and equities. And I think this is going to be major. So let's keep our eyes on that. So with that being said, I want everybody to ask yourself right now, if you are engaged, if you're watching, if you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, help me help you. Head over to my page right here on @KellyKellum or @Academy BitLab, and come over here, hit that retweet button right there, hit that like button. I think we've only got a couple more super chats, several more super chats to go. If we do hit 10 super chats, and you guys can request some stuff on there, we'll try to hit those. If we get 10 super chats, we will draw a giveaway from those of you that hit that retweet and hit that like button. And with that being said, let's throw it to our main man. Let me make sure I have him set up on the assignments. Assigned, you are number one, good sir. And with that, we got our boy, Mr. Crypto Billy, in the house. First time on the show. I can't believe it, because you've been a big part of my positive upbringing in this space for quite some time. How you doing?
Good, brother. My mic check is it's not hissing or anything, is it? Mic check good? Okay. Okay.
Radio voice Billy, man. So I want to introduce you a little bit and then also talk a little bit about an awesome thing that you have going on in the space is bringing so many people together and also just get people in the know. Crypto Billy, how about this? When did your journey start in crypto?
2017, I bought my first Bitcoin.
And you've just been out there ever since, diving in, educating yourself, bringing other people in, and also inspiring positivity, so much so that it's the giver's gain mentality that we need to drive on a daily basis. And I appreciate that. So before we dive in a little bit more on what's going on with the Billy Goat Tales and that, how are you feeling now that you've been in several cycles? Is this dip scaring you at all? Does it worry you? What are you doing about it?
No, not at all. I think guys like us, right? We've been in it for a little bit. We understand, and so it's a buying opportunity. It's as simple as that. It's a great buying opportunity. So we still have many months to run yet. We still have to go through the full altcoin season too. So yeah, it scares those weekends out. Or if you just got in recently and you had this dip, I'm sure you're nervous. It happened to me back in the day. So and of course, I made the wrong decisions. I followed the herd, which I shouldn't have. And now we know not to follow the herd. We know that this is just another opportunity for us to make more gains.
Oh, absolutely. Now, are you a Bitcoin only person or Bitcoin primarily in smaller alts, or do you have a pretty mixed bag across the crypto ecosystem?
Yeah, so I have 3 different bags. So I have the stuff in my ledger, which is the long hold stuff. Then I have a trading bag, which I use to trade with. And then I have what I call my DGen bag, which is you hear these different plays that are at hand and you go research them. You decide whether or not it's something you want to get into. And that DGen bag, actually, through the bull, the DGen bag has done very, very well, which through the bear, the DGen bag got blew up, but through the bull, it's been really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, looking into this cycle, are there any particular narratives that you're excited about, or maybe a couple projects that you're like, I'm super excited about, whether it be Chainlink or Ondo or Fart Coin? I doubt that you're a Fart Coiner, but what are you looking to in this cycle?
Yeah, I do like the ones that we talk about. I do like Ondo. I own Ondo. I do like Chainlink. I own Chainlink. I still am a bit maxi on Polkadot. As much many people say it's dead or whatever, I'm plugged into what they're building. I meet with those team members over there. We met them at the got to introduce myself to them when they had that big booth last year. So I got plugged into some of that team. And so I stay up with what's going on with Polkadot. So I'm a big believer in Polkadot. And of course, Cardano. Big bag of Cardano, keep Cardano, love Cardano. And then beyond that, we get into, things like Caspa, own Caspa, like what they're doing. We had the founders on our space and got to talk to them. GF Burke, shout out GF Burke. He keeps me plugged into what's going on the Caspa chain. So yeah, I do like the AI play. Virtuals has been really good. Little complicated for new users to buy because it's base. You got to buy ETH on base ETH, and then you have to go in there and buy the virtuals with that. But we got in pretty early, and it's been really good. And if you notice on the downturn here, it didn't get beat up too bad. So I like that as, again, now financial advice, do your own research, of course, but I like what's going on with virtuals. And I also like Ledger AI as well. A little less known, Ledger AI, but I like what's going on over there.
Ledger AI. I don't know if I've ever seen that. What's the ticker on that?
I can pull it up and tell you. It's in my Uniswap wallet. So give me 1 second. Yeah,
but going back as he's pulling that up, this is a good time also, everybody, to look at the the others chart that I've been sharing with you all. We had that potential bull pennant here for alts. And I said, if we lose that, we're likely going to be dropping down to this level, which is, you know, I mean, that's what, $35-40 billion out of the market. And that's why you're seeing a lot of your alts dipping 15, 20, some of them 30%. But this came right into the zone. And although this is a bullish pattern, what have I been telling you all? Bullish patterns are going to fake you out in a bull trend, come back up, and then likely go up. Similarly, rather than going up, committing people, coming down, washing you out. And this is what we're seeing on all sorts of patterns, whether it's head and shoulders, bull flags, bull pennants, because there's so much underlying bullishness in the market. It's like, all right, everybody's too bullish. Let's reverse their opinion and then make the move. And that's what we're seeing right now with that super strong bounce. The question is going to be, not only for alts, but Bitcoin and alts on this recovery candle here, on this V-shaped sort of recovery that we're seeing in the market. What is going to happen? Because everybody wants to say this is over, but this very well could just be a confirming move here to continue down. This is why we need to be very conscious right here about what happens and let the move play out before you get super strong conviction, especially if you're leverage trading at the moment.
Yeah, so both the Ledger AI, it's decentralized exchange, Kelly. So it's out. That's out of my DGM bag, man. So that's not in. It's not on a centralized exchange. So I like that. It's been doing very well for me, and again with virtuals too. So again, those are both DGM plays. Those are, hey man, let's put some money in this and see what happens. And they've been playing out pretty well for me.
Well, that is all. Thank you for a little bit of a peek into what you're looking at in the market. But I do want to touch a little bit on, of course, what you're doing with Billy Goat Tales, what it is, how you're kind of pulling the community together, and just kind of let you have the floor a little bit, because it really is. I don't know. There's so many people out there that are just doing things for either their own self-provenance or, you know, people launch a project to extract money from the market. And then there's people out there that are actually doing something that bring the community together and support and help deliver a positive message. So tell us a little bit about what Billy Goat Tales is, what's going on with it, the kids book that you released. There's so much that you've done in the crypto space. I just find it phenomenal.
Yeah, man. So first of all, Billy Goat Tales, the whole philosophy is GiversGain, and we launched with this philosophy in business. When I came into crypto, I saw a lot of bad actors. I saw a lot of shills, just bad behavior. So the more you get involved, what can I do to help change that? What can I do to try to change? We need adoption, and we have to do it right. We have to do it safely. So the whole GiversGain philosophy was born. We formed our team. What we had to first do is ensure that we built trust and credibility. So we do what we say we're going to do. So we said that we were going to launch a children's book, write a children's book for children to keep them safe coming into crypto. And we did. We launched The Bridge to Bitcoin. It's on Amazon right now. Once I'm done here, I'll drop a link in your chat there. So we launched that. The next thing we said we were going to do was create a NFT book based on 30x spaces. And our goal there was to get people like you, Kelly, and you participated and you're in the book, but we wanted to get the influencers that came before us and that we felt are doing us a great job in this space. We wanted to give them a voice. We wanted to cement their words of wisdom into the blockchain forever. And we also wanted to make sure that our community that sprung up and started supporting us, that they had a voice too, and that we put their words into the blockchain forever. And we so far we have found out, and I challenge anybody, I give them $100 in Bitcoin if they prove me wrong here, because we've only can do so much research. So this might be incorrect, but from what we can tell, we are the first and the only NFT book on Cardano that is based on recording 30x spaces of the community, by the community, crowdsourced with people like Charles Hoskinson that came in one night, a lot of the creators, Crypto Crow, Frankie Candles, Crypto Lifer, Army Piper, Blood, Rice. I mean, just a whole bunch of creators came in. We're the first one.
I'm going to pause you there for a moment, because is it in these spaces, for people that haven't tuned in, are they all what coin, what's the price doing? What are the different types of topics that you go through with these things that sort of created the chapters in this book?
Yeah, so we started and we are a personal development company. We are a leadership company. So what we're trying to do, of course, we're under the auspices of the cryptocurrency industry, but within that industry, we are the leadership personal development space. So those chapters were about honor, character, community, persistence, setting habits, taking action, goal setting. So we went through the whole gamut and created a leadership book, much like Good to Great or Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or How to Win Friends and Influence People, much like Think and Grow Rich. So when you read this book, you are reading leadership principles, but from people that you know. So people in the community and influencers and project protocol founders such as Charles. And when Charles was on, we were talking about emotional intelligence, and he added some fire to that topic. As you know, Charles is a very good speaker, very articulate, can talk about anything, so it was just fire. So that's really our culture and who we are. We're always trying to give back. We're not looking for anything in return because we know the true GiversGain pathway. We know those gold nuggets are going to come our way. It could be 15 minutes from now or 15 years from now. We don't care. If we can help you or anyone help reach their goals, your goals, we're going to try to help you if we can.
I love it. Yeah. And I talk about it regularly on my show that the charts that we're looking at on a daily basis is not just number patterns on a screen about making money. For me, it's a metaphor. If you're getting upset when you're trading, if you're emotionally trading, if you're aping in, if you are kamikaze trading, it's just an analogy on how you're actually also interacting with your life. So also, if the numbers are going up or down, if it's really affecting you, like I always try to ask people, what are you doing this for? Is it just to see numbers on a screen? If it's only to see numbers on a screen, fine, don't ever take profits. But if you're doing this to impact your life in a way that maybe you have more free time to spend with family, maybe you don't have to go and work for somebody else to make them money. You can build some sort of accumulation of wealth for your friends and family, helping your mother, helping your father, helping a neighbor. I got a little bit of a Christmas bonus the other day for just like a Christmas gift. And when I went to a Christmas party that night and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give this guy $1 tip. He was the valet. I gave him $100 bill and he was just like, it's like, cause I got, so what do you do? When you get, you give, right?
It feels so good, doesn't it? When you could touch somebody's life like that. I mean, really, that's what it's all about. So my grandfather told me this when I was young. It didn't resonate until later in life, but it is powerful and it works. You get rid of a lot of stress and frustration if you already know that you're there. You visualizing that you're already there. So if you want to be a millionaire, you have to behave and act and like a millionaire. You have to already see yourself as a millionaire and you will be a millionaire. That manifestation will occur. You just have to believe, truly believe, not just say it, but you have to see it and believe it. And it comes, it manifests out there in the ether and it comes back to you. And so success comes from you. It comes from your every single atom, every single electron, everything inside of you, you can control, but you have to believe it. And that belief, faith is the substance of that hope for and the evidence of that not found. So without the evidence, you still have to have faith. And when you do that and it's real and it's sincere, watch what happens. It's just amazing how your life can transform. So when it's up or down, I just already see it. I already know where I'm going. I already know what we're going to do. I already have it, right? I already feel like I already have it. And that is what pushes you forward. And that's what Billy Goat Tales is all about.
I love it. It's true. Some people say you can't just think something and it happens. You're right. You can't partially think it. You have to believe it. You literally have to believe, you have to see it before it's happening, manifest it in your mind. And if you truly believe it, it influences your thoughts, shape your actions. Your actions shape what the journey is. So if it's not happening for you or for me, then maybe we need to adjust where our gratitude is, where our focus is, and are we truly giving that thing our all? And sometimes if you give it your all for 3 weeks and it didn't happen, that doesn't mean it wasn't going to happen. It means maybe your lesson was 6 weeks or 6 months, or sometimes 6 years. One of my favorite stories in that sort of topic is Willie Nelson. For those of you, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the country music singing Hall of Fame. It took him 25 years. He toured. Nobody knew who he was for 25 years. And then the right song, the right record got to the right person. And then boom, he was overnight success. You know, all these overnight successes you see, it's very rarely the case. There's many, I mean, right now, people will tell me, oh my God, you got lucky with Bitcoin. I'm like, you want me to tell you my journey? Okay, there's a lot that goes on there, but I believed, and I doubted it sometimes. And in those moments I doubted it, I made the stupidest decisions ever, like losing 11 Bitcoin in one trade, like an idiot. This was many years ago, guys. Don't worry, I don't have 11 Bitcoin because of that. But I learned from it. It was tuition, and I could either crumble from that. And it struck me as a man. I felt like less of a man when I lost that money because it was the most money I'd ever had. And I was like, I'm not worth it. I literally had that thought. I'm not worth it. That I don't deserve that. That's why it happened. No, my actions told me I didn't deserve it. So what could I do? I could change my actions, and my actions, it's much like if you believe it, you can do it. But also if you're not believing it yet, sometimes you can trick your body by just going through the motions and doing it, and basically having that sort of loop of positive mind, positive action. And if your mind's slipping, still stay true to your strategy, because that will get your mind back on track, because it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling loop there, that it takes both of those factors to succeed. I love what you guys are doing. So I know we're going to be wrapping here in a second, but I'm so happy that I could bring you on. Is there anything that you'd like to share about anything on the roadmap? Any calls to actions for anybody that's that's tuned in?
Yeah, man. Yeah, two things. If you want to pull up that website you had where the NFT is, so you can mint these NFTs. All you gotta have to do right now is have a Cardano wallet. Go to our website, billygoatales.io, and up there in the right-hand corner, Kelly, if you scroll down, it'll be, yeah, there you go. And you just go right in there into the official NFT mint link. You click on that, you connect your wallet, you can mint. There's only 10 different NFTs. The NFTs represent 3 chapters of a 30-chapter book. So it's a random draw. We do have some Easter eggs baked in there, Kelly. So over there on the right-hand side, you see cover 1, Strength of Community. That's chapters 1, 2, and 3. There's 120 of those, but to the right, it says 10%. That means there's 10% Easter eggs baked into that particular chapter or that cover. And as you go down, if you look at chapter 9, there's only 60 of Rarity. Rarity was a great space that we held, and there's only 60 of those NFTs, and only 5% of those have the Easter egg. So that's the most rare one. And the goal is to collect the whole book. But hey, if you spoke on chapter 7 and you're shooting to get a copy of your words in the book, then you can mint to you, try to get chapter 7. It might be a little cheaper. We broke it down that way because we didn't want to have to charge 250 Cardano for a whole book. What we wanted to do is, if somebody wanted to take the chance to get chapter, say 7, all they had to do is probably mint 2 or 3 times.
So then if somebody mints one of these, do they get the whole book, or do they only get that chapter?
There's only 10 NFTs. So cover 1 is Strength of Community, and it's chapter 1, 2, and 3. All NFTs have chapter 0, which is the preface, and they all have chapter 31, which is the appendix. But so it's a random draw. So you would, if you go in there and connect and you minted 1, you would get 3 chapters, and you don't know which one you're going to get. And neither do we. It's all random. But I picked up, and I minted just like everyone else. There was no secret behind the scenes stuff. I went in just like everyone else, and I bought 12, and I got a full book. I had 2 extras.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I love people doing things in the space that it's not just, hey, dollars. It's like, hey, what can we do to bring community together? What can we do to not only be a money space like traditional finance? How can we tie in the opportunity that we have in the crypto space while also using it as a mechanism to drive forward positive human spirit, to grow together, to push each other to grow, to learn, to also step the hell out of our own way by stepping in front of somebody that's got their hand out that says, hey man, how are you doing? How can I help you? And I appreciate you so much, Crypto Billy. And anybody that does want to go and give him a follow, you can follow him right here at Crypto Billy 111. I will drop this in the live chat as well.
One last thing, Kelly, one last thing, just because I told Randy Hipper I'd say this. I gotta keep my word. So on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Randy Hipper is going to be reading for Christmas Eve. And we know hey, if you got family happening, don't come to our space. Family first, okay? But if you happen to have time, she's going to read out loud the entire Bridge to Bitcoin, which is a children's book that we wrote. So she's going to read that Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's on our YouTube and X, which is at Billy Goat Tales. And hey, brother, I appreciate you, man. I do.
Hey, I appreciate you. I was looking forward to seeing you when we're at conferences, getting a big bear hug and the big warm smile that you always have. And, just have that positive bubble around you because it's inside you. It's not a fake thing. And I appreciate you so much. And everybody with that, this was so positive. I think we're going to close there. Thank you so much, Crypto Billy, for coming on, sharing a little bit of your story and also what's going on with the Billy Goat Tales. Everybody, again, it's Billy Goat Tales.io, and I will share that actually with a direct link to the NFT mint there if you guys want to participate and get involved with a positive thing going on in the ecosystem. Again, happy holidays, my friend. Everybody out there that's tuned in, thank you for being here. Big love. Go out there, do something kind for somebody without telling anybody about it, just because it's the right thing to do. And GiversGain, and we'll close with that. Crypto Billy, thank you so much for being here. And that's all we got. Adios, everybody.